gun.
That's not
That
scary.
looks like a machine gun. I'll put mine out there too. All right.
Luke, I've read that you applied to 215 acting jobs before you landed your first commercial. So you obviously appreciate being on this series. And what does it mean to you as an actor to get to this point in your career?
I still have all my hair, and I don't think anybody thought I would at this stage in the game. Yeah, it took me a long time to start getting work, but it's a thing I love, and I always wanted to do it. Nothing was going to stop me. 216, 316, 4, whatever. I like the work that I do, and I really enjoy doing this show. Primarily my work's with KJ, and it just doesn't get any better than that for me in terms of a scene partner. It's so easy with he and I, and it was from day one. I couldn't believe it. When we first sat down to just read a scene together for Lee, who was directing our pilot, we just could have shot what happened right there at the table. And it's been that way every day since. There's a real integrity to the scenes that I do with KJ that it's great.
But he was saying that you don't have quite as many of those in the next season. Is that true? Or he doesn't depend on you as much, maybe?
Well, yeah, because my son's growing up, right? He's becoming his own man. That's what's really hard for me is we did a scene last week, and it was similar to some other scenes we had done, but we both knew that it had to be different in a number of reasons because, well, one, he's physically bigger now than when we did the pilot. I mean, he literally has grown an inch and a half, and when I put my arms around him, it's not the same. And man, that really, when I think back on that pilot, and that's not the kid I put my arms around, then that gets really keys me into what we're doing. But when we did this scene, it was important to me that it's two men talking now. It's two men. KJ held up his end of that real good.
So with the dynamic between Fred and Archie being kind of fractured right now, and with your storylines not being that linked together this season, what exactly will the focus of Fred be? What will your character be getting into this season?
Well, here's what's interesting about it. It's just going to be a matter of him trying to keep his life on the rails without the thing that's been the biggest balancing factor in his life and the biggest focus. And that, of course, is Archie. He is the love of my life. And in the absence of that, and not just him not being there, but me knowing where he is and it not being a great place, it's really hard. And I'm not entirely proud of all the choices that Fred makes to get through it, but it's about survival for him at this point, and it just sort of snuck up on him that way.
Can you talk about the flashback episode with young Fred, and how
Archie's got the coolest hair in it. I say that for sure. But I know the kids really love doing it because they've spent so much time, with us and looking at us and seeing how they would do it if they got to play us, and I know they all had a great time with it, and I look forward to seeing it. I haven't seen it yet, but I can imagine Lily would make a great Mädchen. I really do. I think that's the one I'm most excited to see how she does that. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about what Fred was like as a teen, and how he sort of, that makes sense given your character now?
Yeah, I think Fred was this close to being in the Serpents. I think that it was either going to be Fred or FP that was going to run the Serpents, and he just made a different choice, And one never knows why people make choices when they make them, but I think that's what was going on.
Is that something that you've always known about the character, or something that's revealed to you this season by doing the flashback?
It's sort of revealed through that and some other things that happen, and some of the people that come into the show.
Do you prepare any differently now than you did prior seasons, even going all the way to the beginning?
No, I still try to rehearse as little as possible. Just know your stuff, and that's the great thing about a lot of my stuff with KJ. We don't require a great deal of rehearsal, so it's all still pretty fresh when we're doing it. And I think that's, for me, that's the way I like to work. There are a lot of actors who really like to rehearse and like to know what the beats are going to be and what can happen. That's just not the way I do it, and it's not the way that the young man does it either. But having said that, he has so much capability. He could work that way, but his natural style, well, I don't know if you ever heard him play guitar, but he's more of a riffer, right? The kid can riff. He's got great improvisational skills, and I try to get him to turn him loose a little bit. Don't hold him so much to exactly every word in the script. I love his instincts, and he always makes great choices about the stuff he's doing. So I have a lot of faith in him.
And that makes it more fresh for you, maybe, too?
It does, and I know that if I say something that's not exactly in there, he's still going to be listening to every word. We're still connected. We're still having that moment where we're together and we're sharing. And when that is the case, the dialogue becomes, when people really know what's going on between two people, words are optional. KJ and I can get to that place.
What's the relationship? What do you guys like outside of work? Do you hang out at all? Do you rehearse?
Well, I don't like him. Let me be clear about that. I don't enjoy it. No, he and I do hang out a little bit. I'm much. A little secret. I'm a little older than the Chuck so I don't hang out with them a lot. But when we all get together, it is a pretty good time. And KJ and I, we get together by ourselves sometimes and hang out. We both. It's funny. We drive the same vehicle.
What car?
I can't. That I don't want to get into because we're in negotiations with them to do a commercial. No, I don't want to get into that. But oddly enough, KJ and I we drive the same vehicle.
Wow.
And it's fun. Yeah. But he's a great guy. His parents. I spend a good deal of time with his parents when they come to visit because I love those guys. They raised a great kid, and they sent him up here, and he's still a great kid. Yeah, his parents are really something.
Is it true you go to a tomato festival back home once a year? And
when I can. The shooting schedule for this thing makes it a little tough, but that first week in September, there's no place I'd rather be. Yeah, that's the one and only Fredericktown Tomato Show. That's awesome.
Since Archie's going to be away for a bit this season, do you interact? I'm assuming you interact more with some other characters. Is there anyone surprising that we would be surprised by?
There's somebody coming. Yeah, there's somebody who's coming to Riverdale. And we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I got to believe something is going to happen.
Okay.
That was a real tease.
I know.
Well, it's, I got to say, over the years, I've found this is one of the biggest challenges of doing things like this because I do like to sit and talk about the show, but if I say the wrong thing, get in trouble. But we had some instances this year where some people posted some stuff, some images and that they weren't supposed to, and it wasn't good. Studios get all freaked out by that stuff now.
do people get fired instantly?
I do the best I can. People can get fired instantly. People can be removed right away for that. And it was great to get to work on I worked on a film this year where no cell phones allowed on the set, even close to the set. You had to check your cell phone 50 feet away of the outside of the set. And that would have loved it. It was great. Because otherwise, these guys are constantly in that phone.
Thank you guys.
Thank
Thanks so
you.
much.
I enjoyed your questions. Thank you guys
Thank
very
you.
much. Appreciate your time.